is International Women's Day, and every March 8th, yearly we commemorate this day as International Women's Day. And this year we are enjoined to invest in women and to accelerate progress. Today we celebrate the remarkable achievement, contributions and resilience of women all around the world. From trailblazers who shattered glass ceilings to everyday heroes making differences in their communities, to advocating for equality and justice, innovation and compassion, women continue to shape our world in profound ways. Today on the show, we're being joined by Murja Sidi Ali via Zoom from Kano, and she's a lecturer too. Department of Business Education, School of Vocational Studies at the Aminu Kano School of Islamic and Legal Studies. Information reaching me right now is that she's in our studio in Kano. So, of course, she's joining us live as it is. Good morning to you and welcome to the show.
Good morning. I'm very happy to be together with you to celebrate this special day, the Women's Day, that used to happen every 8 March yearly. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
And we are thrilled to have you join us on the show this morning. Of course, you're a remarkable woman, and that's why you're on the show this morning. So let's start. Today is Women's Day, and a lot of times, yearly, we hear a lot of people say Happy International Women's Day to women all around the world. And this year, 2024, the theme for this year is Invest in Women to accelerate progress. Now, can you tell us more about the theme for this year's celebration or commemoration of the International Women's Day?
Actually, investment, when we talk about investment, is you put some input that you expect a remarkable output. So when we say investing in women, people are assured that when they put this input, the output that will get will be very, very tremendous. Therefore, investing in women is as the capacity of women, their strength, how they value things, how they look at things, how they value achievement, how they have the courage. When a woman is determined to do something, she faces it and does it, and she used to be sure that she will have to achieve what she is destined to. Therefore, the moment the nation or household or family invest in women to be sure that they will get that remarkable output.
Right,
so investing in women, the society. Yep.
All right, so we know that the economic hardship is biting hard. And I was reading somewhere this morning, you know, they said that the economy has a woman's face. And we know that women, of course, bear the brunt of some of this economic hardship. She has to plan the home. She has to know where these resources are supposed to be allocated, what has to be struck out, what you have to do to make life easier or to, you know, make life, go well for the members of the family. Now, tell us more about the economy phase of the woman, you know, the economy having a face of a woman, and how we can manage all of this in this trying times.
The economy is really facing a very serious hardship at present, and actually a lot of men are trying to shift the hardship to women. Mostly in most households, the allocation of resources have not increased, but the women are still managing. They are trying their best, as the food has not been stopped, everything has not been stopped. They used to plan the economy in such a way that everything goes well. yes, a woman has that capacity to maybe try to substitute for a lower price, or try to maybe discard what is really not very important and focus on what is important and what has to be done. So the women are really getting things going, yeah, because of their talents.
Okay, so before we started commemorating this day and before people started standing up for women's rights, 150 years ago, definitely we didn't think that, you know, some of the rights that women enjoy in this day's world, we didn't think it was going to happen. And that was a collective responsibility. Year in, year out, we had people who came out, remarkable women, remarkable men, who stood out and, you know, held their head up high and lend a voice to the fight for women to be celebrated and, of course, given the right that they deserve in a society. Now, looking back to, you know, how we've commemorated this day and how we have amplified our voice to, you know, the rights of women and inclusion and investing in women, how far do you think we've come? Are we doing so well at the moment? Okay, I think we lost that connection there, but Marja Sidi, if you can hear me, we'd like to connect with you again, and we'll try. Our technical team are actually on the ground working to connect with you again in Kano. Network issues happen here and there. But if you're just joining, we're talking about the International Women's Day. We had a guest who joined us from our studios in Kano, talking about the theme for International Women's Day and why it is very important that we commemorate this day, not just by saying Happy International Women's Day, but by our actions, by celebrating remarkable women who have, you know, because of some hindrances, some bottlenecks, didn't give up, but continue to fight for the rights of women and also to amplify the voices of women, to give more in the society. And that's what it's all about today. A lot of people have said that, you know, you wear some specific kind of colors, but I was having a conversation with some women with like minds, and they said, wear colors that suits you, wear colors that pops you out, do things that make you happy, do things that stand you out, do things because you really want to do them, to create some sort of innovation that will elevate one woman's life or people's life in general. Do things that makes you stand out as a woman. That is what it's all about. And this year, the economy is not really smiling. And like I said, I keep hammering on the economic phase, which of course has the face of a woman in all of this. We, in profound ways, have been able to do things that a lot of people will look at it, think about it and marvel. But Marja Sidi Ali is back and we'll continue the conversation. It's good to have you back.
Thank you
very much. Like before that interruption, I was talking about, you know, how we have fared so far, commemorating women, talking about the resilient and remarkable achievements that women from different views, spanning from different areas of life, has achieved over the years. We didn't know that we will enjoy some of this rights we enjoy at the moment. How far have we come? Is it a time where we say, yes, we have achieved so much concerning the rights of women and how the woman is being viewed in the Nigerian society?
Yes, we have achieved a lot, and we still have a lot to achieve, but we have really tried because we have a lot of orphans, we have a lot of divorced women, we have a lot of even married women at present, but they are the people bearing the responsibility of the family, and they are doing well and everything is going well. So with that, we have really achieved. We can see through our role models, a lot has happened, and even if you see a successful man, behind that successful man It is a woman's idea that is pushing him and making him what he is.
I do agree. And
Yeah.
I know a lot of women would agree with that as well, even the men. So now, before this network acts up, I'd like to ask, you know, this year's theme is all about investing in women. And like you said, the economy is not very friendly at the moment. Now, give us ways that we can invest in women, and at the end of the day, it will be a win-win for every member of the society.
Yes. When we invest in women, we can see the woman use, she can also work, she can get additional income, she can use her own talent, she can use her own hard work and help the husband. So investing in women will be a very remarkable thing. And
so how well can we invest?
We can see now women used to plant inside their homes, even if they don't have. Yes, the ways include we can invest in women agriculturally, socially, economically. Example, agriculture, we can have women used to harvest in their homes, even inside their parlor at present. All this irrigation, they can do a lot of agriculture, farm, they can produce a lot of farm products. We can see L and Z in Kano. Both of them are women and they really tried, they achieved a lot. Also economically, women can, they do trades, they do businesses and they get income. And all it will help the family.
Okay, so what do you think should be our anthem for today? Today is International Women's Day, and of course, we need to amplify our voices. We need to do, you know, some sort of talking and actions out there, put some actions out there that, you know, says that we know that we are remarkable women, we're resilient, we're ready to take the next step to make life easy, and also we're ready for us to make that investment and be invested in. So what should we be doing today as women? What should we be saying as women? What do you think? Your final thoughts before we end this segment.
What we should do today actually is to inspire our women, to wake them up, to encourage them, to show them the way, to show them the right path, to gather them, to tell them that we don't have to stay back, we don't have to feel degraded in the society. We have to come out, we have to be bold, we have to face the challenges. We will not be subsided by the power of men. We are also powerful. Everything a man can do, a woman can also do better. She can play her own part. Yes, anything a person can do, since we all have our we are all healthy, and we have our two hands, two legs and eyes, etc. So there is nothing a person can do that you cannot do. So every work you are given, make sure you do it to the best. Make sure you try your possible best. I don't think there is anything that will come to you that you will say, no, I can't do it because I'm a woman. No, no, no. Women, wake up, stand up. Yes, we have to be inspired. We have to face the challenges ahead of us. We are role models. A woman is a teacher since from her birth. People look upon her to see what she does, and they will copy her. A woman is copied by her children. A woman is copied by the society. So we have to inspire the women out there. We have to encourage them. We have to come out. We have to show them that we are happy with this remarkable day, and we are happy to change, to bring a change to the nation as a whole.
All right, so I love
even
you.
Globally.
Yes, it's there. You're speaking, but thank you so much, Murja Sidi Ali. Murja is a lecturer to Department of Business Education, School of Vocational Studies at the Aminu Kano School of Islamic Studies. Thank you so much for being on the show today.
You are welcome.
All right, so that brings us to the end of the discussion segment of Daybreak this morning. Of course, we talked about the International Women's Day, focusing on the theme, investing on women. And like she said, of course, this is a time for us to inspire each other. Love yourself. Feel good about yourself. Don't beat yourself up about the things that you haven't achieved. Know that there's a lot to achieve. We're not going back, we're looking forward, and we're looking for different ways to invest in ourselves and invest in other women too. We'll take a breather, and when we come back, we'll get into the newspaper segment where we take a look at some selected national dailies and what they're saying this morning. Stay with us. Thank you for staying. You're still watching Daybreak on Trust Television. And it's time for us to take a look at some selected national dailies. And as tradition here, we'll start with the Daily Trust newspaper. The lead story this morning says bandits abduct 287 students. Principal from Kaduna school. Writers attached to this very sad development says over 20 orphans among victims and school not fenced. Principal killed recently, wife abducted. They will be rescued, Governor Sani, and we're trailing attackers, and that's according to the police. And just above that, we have a special edition on International Women's Day. That's for the Daily Trust newspaper there. You can get more details. And then Tinubu suspends REAMD, 3 others over alleged 1.2 billion naira misappropriation. Let's go downwards now. We have pilot survivors, Air Force suffers mishap in Kaduna. Borno dispatches team to rescue abducted female IDPs. Page 5 has that story. The story on pilot surviving as Air Force suffers mishap in Kaduna is also on page 5. And then another story says 2 killed as robbers attack banks and police station in Kogi. That is on page 47. And we have a pictorial here of Major General Paul Tarfa, who was a chairman, Northeast Development Commission and governing board. This is a briefing dwelled on best ways to ensure Bola Ahmed Tinubu's renewed hope agenda and is to achieve and improve the economic well-being of Northeast Zone. All right, you can get details of that. And they said ACF backs rep members push for parliamentary system. Page 10 of the Daily Trust newspaper has that detail. And that's what is in the front of the Daily Trust newspaper this morning. Let's move to the Guardian newspaper. The Guardian for this morning says that widowed by insurgency and gallantry, that's a kicker. It says millions of widows in dire straits over lack of structure and empathy. That's a big story in the front of Guardian this morning. That story can be found on pages 4 and 5 of the Guardian newspaper, the Friday edition. And we have below that, Nigeria records 583 Lassa fever cases, 108 deaths. Page 3 has details of that story. And Labour divided on minimum wage as NLC slashes demand to 794,000 naira, and TUC opts for 447,000 naira. And that story about the divide is on page 6 of the Guardian newspaper. We have a pictorial here. It's on Nigeria is home to about 15 million of the world's 258 million widows, and data shows an increasing number of younger widows between the ages of 23 and 40. You might just want to know why this is happening here. Of course, this is in commemoration of the International Women's Day and issues arising that affects the women folks in the world. And Nigerian women task government on inclusion and gender balance beyond yearly promises. All right, another story on the International Women's Day there, page 42, has details of that story. And then court admits evidence in $6.2 million alleged fraud suit against Emefiele. That story is on page 3 of the Guardian newspaper. Below that, we have agency banking threatened as fraudsters run operators out of business. Page 21 has details. And Fubara offers to give up office in exchange for peace. All right, that's a development from River State there. Page 9 has details. And reps, AI condemn kidnap epidemic as bandits abduct dozens of Kaduna's school pupils. Page 6 has details of that very heartbreaking story there. And that's the stories on the on the Guardian newspaper this morning. Let's move on to the Tribune newspaper for today. The big story: bandits invade Kaduna school, 280 pupils missing and feared abducted. Page 3 has details of that story. The story also says, ensure safe return of abducted pupils, reps tell security agencies. Below that, we have alleged 1.2 billion naira misappropriation as a kicker. Tinubu suspends REAMD, appoints Adelabu's running mate non-executive director. Page 3 has details. Armed robbers attack 2 banks in Kogi. Page 26 has details of that armed robbery attack in Anyigba, Kogi State. An increasing rate of poverty, hunger in Nigeria worrisome. GNI and CAN making the statement. Page 29 has details. Below that story, we have Ondo gubernatorial, no decision yet on zoning. That's coming from the People's Democratic Party, PDP. Page 4 has details. And let's take a look at this story that says labor differs on appropriate new minimum wage for workers. The writers attached to the story. It says Southwest NLC proposes 794,000 naira, TUC 497,000 naira. OPS appeals for understanding. And Southeast NLC, TUC proposed 540,000 naira and 447,000 naira. Another writer said FCT NLC proposes 709,000 naira. Another writer says workers' minimum wage, a starving wage. That's coming from the NLC president there. Page 12 has details of that story. And those are some of the selected national dailies we will be taking a look at this morning, as of course we are being joined in the studio by our newspaper analyzer. You'll be doing the reviews this morning. I'm talking about none other than our editor, Nuruddin Abdullah, who is the editor of 21st Chronicle. Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you so much, Maria. My pleasure.
So it's a Friday, and of course there's a lot happening in the pages of the newspapers this morning. And one of the most disturbing is the abduction of about 287 students and principal from Kaduna school. This is not the first time something like this is happening, not just in Kaduna, but in other parts of the country. And of course, the governor is saying that these students will be rescued. This shouldn't be a repeat of the Chibok attack. What's your take on this development?
Yes, it's a very sad development, particularly there has been a sort of interregnum in the last 2 years. We didn't witness a very gory situation like this. There are some pockets of attacks, but going into a public school in a village, in a remote village, to take away almost 300 kids, the principal, I want to feel is, and my understanding is this. In the last, maybe the bandits have devised a new means, particularly of targeting soft targets. If you look at the schools, particularly in Kaduna, that we are attacked, talking about afforestation, which is a tertiary institution,
yes,
talking about the university along the Kaduna highway, maybe faith-based school. You remember the Baptist school. But a local primary school owned by government, primary pupils. I think this is the first time. From Chibok to Dapchi to Kankara, down to Greenfield, Afforestation, the Baptist school, and what have you. They were either private tertiary institutions or government tertiary institutions or private secondary schools, like the Baptist was government, unlike the Dapchi and just like the Dapchi and Chibok. So this is a new trend.
School, yes, for pupils.
This is a new trend. And maybe it may be occasioned by the pressure being mounted on them. If you look at it recently, in the last couple of weeks, most of the key bandit commanders were being neutralized, to use the military jargon here. Most of the people, the Baleri, you know, the people you used to have on to hear on negotiating, taking all manner of, they have been picked one after the other. So maybe it's another bandit strategy now to strike on a soft target. This is the local primary school in Kuriga. Now who will pay the ransom? They are the daughters and sons of peasant farmers who are grappling with what to eat.
Offense too, about 20 offense among the victims.
You understand? So I think maybe when the pressure maybe is been mounted by the security forces, then maybe they rely on the sub-targets. Just like what happened in Borno. Now they are even abducting IDPs as well. The IDPs, they chased away for years. Now they have been rehabilitated, structures built for them by the government, and now they have been abducted again. So the security agencies need to identify the sub-targets and secure them. Is key. They are saying that the school has even no offense. So you know what that means. As we shouldn't underrate the bandits. Yes, they are savages, bush and what have you, but they are equally thinking. So I think the security agencies, all the intelligence agencies, the security architecture must think ahead of them. So that as you are pushing them here, you know, they have devised, or that means to embarrass the government, to embarrass the country, to attract international attention. When you pick primary pupils in your local, in your peasant community, you know what? And maybe the next thing we'll see videos. So you imagine the outrage, you understand? So it's a sort of a politicizing the situation. I hope that the governor, the police are saying they're training. We hope so, but the government need to do something. Need to do something. They should identify these soft targets and secure them. They should, like the police, they should de-emphasize following politicians here and there with arms and what have you, and deploy them to these communities.
So do you think that, you know, the community policing and the advocating for community policing could have solved this problem? Because this happened just after their morning assembly and children was marched into the forest. Do you think that this could have stopped this from happening?
Not completely. When it comes to security, it's not an exclusive preserve of the security agencies. All the strata of the society are involved, from the top down to the bottom. Even parents, school authorities, youth, women groups, you know, you have to be conscious of your environment and what have you. But don't forget, the bandits are heavily armed. You can see the encounter. We don't know where they are buying their weapons, because we don't know there are factories, there are bombs, there are gun factories in the bush, what have you. Yeah, there is an ongoing effort, because we have seen on the newspapers that some of the bandit kingpins, the mastermind who are living in the cities, are being picked one after the other. Maybe it's a collaboration between the DSS and some other sister agencies, which is a very good omen. So the next thing is to nip in the bud, to cut the artery that supply the weapons. Most of the communities cannot withstand the firepower of the bandits. But yeah, look at Ibn Zamfara, look at Katsina. They even have a sort of official vigilante group. Askara and Zamfara, in Katsina, there is a JTM and what have you.
Yes.
But their firepower cannot withstand those of the bandits. But the consciousness in the community, every community must have that consciousness to protect itself. In Borno, for instance, Borno and Yobe, Boko Haram, as we read, fear the civilian JTF more than the military because they are deadly and they know the environment. They know the ecosystem very well. So I think maybe there should that conscientious effort, particularly on the part of Kaduna. Okay, maybe you kill commanders or what have you. That's not enough. They are criminals. They are criminally minded. They are not ready to drop their arms. So you should ensure that soft targets like the Kuriga schools don't fall victims. The next thing we'll see videos, which will spark outrage.
This is really, really sad on a day like this. Let's talk about this before we talk about, what's happening to women in some age grade at the moment. Let's talk about a jaw-dropping one, if you ask me, because Labour is different on the new minimum wage, and a lot of people have said that this is a disappointment because Nigerians expecting that the Labour unions come together. Their union represent the Nigerian workers, but we're hearing different minimum wage presented to the government. And to my surprise, even zones have their proposed minimum wage. Do you think that this is normal at this point in time?
It is not unexpected that you may have some forms of infiltration. The government naturally will not sit back and allow the labor unions to have their way. We saw what happened during the Buhari's regime just recently, where even some counter labor groups were registered just to break the back of the NLC and TUC. We saw how Ngige, under Buhari, even created 2 additional academic unions in the universities just to break the back of ASU. That is aside. But more importantly, I think the labor is, maybe, I don't know, they are disoriented as such. They're not very realistic. So they're talking about almost $1 million minimum wage. From 30,000 to $1 million.
You think that is not realistic?
Let's be real. Okay,
what about above 400,000? I think that's the lowest we've seen so far.
How many out of the 240 million Nigerians? How many are on the payroll of the local, state, or federal government? How many of them are in the OPS, organized private sector?
So do you think that what the reps are...
How many percentage? What is the percentage?
It's very minute, not something to write home about, actually.
So, unless if they just want to be seen to be fighting for the workers, bring realistic demands and save time. And that is why, the federal government is dragging the matter. They are spending about $1 billion to inaugurate a committee that will sit on the minimum wage matter. President Tinubu has inaugurated the committee yesterday. That thing, as we saw on the papers, cost about 500 million, the first tranche. That's by the way. And now they are starting zonal public hearings. Do you need all this to increase minimum wage?
Wow.
Again, the House of Reps now is keying in. They will do a special ad hoc committee on minimum wage. You have, for heaven's sake, you have National Minimum Wage Commission, even though it has been penciled down for scrap. You have even the revenue mobilization. You understand? But now when Labour is saying that they are speaking discordant tunes, in Jigawa they are saying, okay, give us 1 million. In Southwest, give us 800. Let's be realistic. If the government, the 30,000 minimum wage now, federal government is paying good. Not all state governments are paying.
Exactly.
As of the time the 30,000 naira was approved, the 18,000 was not being implemented, particularly at the local government level.
So we have that discord in different levels of government and different parts of the country.
And don't forget, you are an entrepreneur. You are employable labor. you buy your security. Do you know how much a liter of diesel is now? Spare parts, all the things that you get, you go to black market and get your dollars, for instance, out of all this. Unless if they want you to cross shop, you understand? But so the minimum wage agitation should be realistic. But when you say 800, 700, nobody will take you serious.
All right, I wish we have more time to talk about all of the very pressing issues that found their way in front of some of the selected national newspapers we read out this morning. But hey, time is not anyone's friend, and it happens to not be a friend this morning, but we're very grateful for your analysis on some of these stories that made it to the front page this morning. Thank you very much for your
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
And this is how we draw the curtains on today's edition of Daybreak, the last episode for the week. And we wish you a very, very beautiful International Women's Day. And of course, the weekend Daybreak Extra comes your way tomorrow morning. But stay tuned for more programming and documentary, especially at the top of the hour where we have our sports program, 360 Sports, coming your way. Stay tuned, and thank you for being a part of the show. My name is Martia Umar. Bye for now.